Jennifer and June Gibbons were born in 1963, identical twin sisters from Wales, as children. They were inseparable, but also unnerving. They rarely spoke to anyone, not their teachers. Not even their parents, only to each other in a strange, fast-paced private language no one else could understand. Teachers thought they were mute. Psychologists believed they had selective mutism, but it was more than that. These two girls had created a world of their own, one that no one else was allowed to enter. Growing up, June and Jennifer were constantly bullied. They were the only black children in a small Welsh town, and their isolation drove them deeper into themselves. Their language grew more complex. They would mirror each other's movements, speak in perfect unison, even their breathing would sync. They began to write stories, dark, violent stories about murder, obsession, and control. They even published some of them, but their behavior became more disturbing. They locked themselves in their room for days. Sometimes they remained frozen in silence, sitting motionless for hours. Other times they'd attack each other violently, choking, scratching, screaming. Yet moments later, they would be calm again, like nothing had happened. In their teenage years, the twins became obsessed with a group of American boys. To get their attention, the girls began committing petty crimes, theft, arson, even burning down an entire building. Eventually, they were caught. And in 1982, at the age of 19, June and Jennifer were sentenced to Broadmoor Hospital, one of the most infamous high-security psychiatric institutions in the UK. What was meant to be a short stay turned into 12 years. Inside Broadmoor, the girls continued their eerie behavior. They refused to speak to doctors. They moved like shadows, always together, always in sync. Nurses began to fear them during this time. Journalist Marjorie Wallace became close to them. She gained their trust and uncovered something terrifying. Jennifer believed she had to die so that June could be free. She wrote it in her diary. She said, "We have become fatal enemies in each other's eyes. One of us is going to have to die." June, too, wrote things like, "She's my shadow. Without her, I am nothing. Without me, she doesn't exist." Then, in 1993, something happened. Just before they were set to be released and transferred to a lower security clinic, Jennifer died. Suddenly, no signs of struggle, no illness, She just stopped breathing. Cause of death was listed as acute myocarditis, inflammation of the heart. But no clear explanation was found. No drugs, no injuries, just death. June was devastated, but also relieved. After Jennifer's death, June began speaking normally. She started a new life. She never returned to Broadmoor. She lived quietly, often visiting her sister's grave. But she never denied what happened. To this day, she says Jennifer gave up her life so she could live. The Silent Twins are a story of deep psychological entanglement, of love so intense it became suffocating. Their story is real, and in the stillness of their silence, something dark and unexplainable lived.